So let's get over with the stuff that is basic before we start and get into the really complex stuff. The stuff I'm going to be talking about in this one is stuff that you can do if you're just now learning, or if you know it's maybe the easier to master. Most of us, when we're just getting our feet wet in this, we don't have the means to just sit around and wait for 2 years until we've mastered all these basic skills before we gain protection. Most of us are going to need that protection long before, and it's interesting, even if you don't know those basic skills, like, would I rather you know the basic skills before you try to do protection magic? Yes. I would rather you know how to at least sense the energies. We have a video about that. Know how to see the hidden truth. We have a video about that. Know how to hear whether or not you have sacred permission. We also have a video about that. I would rather you be able to do all that stuff. All those basic skills that you need for all this. Yes. But is it possible that you can set up protection if you don't know how to do all that? Yes, it is a possibility. But it's got a catch to it. Say you're brand new to this, you don't know how to even know whether or not you've got sacred permission to do something. 9 times out of 10, if we listen to our instincts and to whatever we're being pulled to do and called to do, there is this magnetic pull of guidance, and it's usually your spirit guardians or something like that, to totems or something like that, even if you're not aware of it. Usually someone or something is guiding you even if you're not aware of it, but you are inadvertently stumbling upon this path by accident. You are just inadvertently being pulled in the right direction, but you have to take all of your emotions and assumptions and everything out of it. And once you do that, say you're looking for a protection stone, you can't just look and say, oh, I really like that one because it's pretty. No, don't do that. But if you go in there with intent that, okay, whatever one catches my eye, whatever one, for whatever stupid reason, catches my eye, if it catches my eye and I have no fucking clue why, that's probably the right one. If it catches my eye and I think it's pretty, no. I mean, you're allowed to think it's pretty, but what I'm trying to say is, don't go for something because you're thinking of whether or not you might like it. Go for it because it catches your eye and you have no fucking clue why. Because something like that, 9 times out of 10, that's the one. That's the one you're meant to have. Not always, because if you don't know how to sense the energies, you're not going to know for sure. But one dead giveaway, even if you can't sense that it's rebelling against you, one dead giveaway that it's rebelling against you is that there's no protection, that the protection didn't work, or that it got even worse instead of better. If that happens, then you know that you've picked the wrong one. Any kind of relic, whether it be stone or wood or bone, or, I mean, there's so many different horns, fangs, claws, any kind of relic that you have, even a fossil or something, a shell, anything that's physical, tangible. There are 2 different ways that it can protect. Either you sit it in the midst of a room, or in maybe just a certain section of the forest, and it will protect the surrounding area of the forest or whatever it's in, just naturally by being set in place there. Don't have to do any kind of ritual. We'd like you to set it in stone, yes, but you don't have to, because that's already got protection magic in it, and it's doing all the hard work for you. if you wear something, then as long as you have it on, then it's giving you protection. Take it off though, or remove from room, remove from place and forest, and the protection goes away. Why? Because we have not set it in stone, because there was no ritual, and because you're relying solely on that object for all the protection. But you don't really have to know much to do that. And so it's a good way to start out with protection magic when you are just getting your feet wet and don't know enough. But would I rather you know how to at least sense the energies? Yes. Because that tells you whether or not you've got the right object. And that also tells you whether or not, if you're going to do the next thing that I'm going to talk about, which is the next very common thing, if you're going to do some kind of sacred asking, I won't call it a true summoning because you're not doing an act. Remember, you're just getting your feet wet. We're going to assume that you don't know how to do a summoning. So our voice, even if it's inside our head, even if it's just a thought, even if it's just a longing for something, the universe can see and hear through every crack and crevice of everyone and everything. If you say, just simply say, please, I need protection, some protector, spirit, please come and help protect me against blah, 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 then something is going to hear you. In the very least, the universe itself will hear you, if not a specific protector out there or protectors out there will hear your plight. But if you're not worthy of it, they're not going to come and help you. However, had you be worthy of that protection, 9 times out of 10, something is going to answer. Would I rather it be an actual summoning where you know the difference between, some kind of malicious spirit and a spirit of pure intent, and that you've already, before you even do the summoning, have made sure that anything of ill intent can't come in? And I don't mean come in as possessed, I just mean can't even physically get close to you at all. Would I rather it be like? Yes, I would rather it be like that. By the way, when you're having some kind of protector, it doesn't mean that they have to go within you. They can be kind of just around in the same room or by your side. But I don't mean a binding. I don't necessarily mean a binding. I just mean that it is there, kind of like a watchdog or a guard dog. It is there right beside you when you need them. So, like I said, would I rather you be able to do this the right way, to make sure that not only it is set in stone that you're not going to get something malicious, but that you've done it in a way that it's a pure intent and that you have sacred permission. Or yes, I would rather it be something where it's flawless. But we're assuming that you don't have that. We're assuming that you don't know how to do anything yet. So, like I said, 9 times out of 10, if you just do what I call an asking, where you are just calling like a beacon to anything and anyone that is of pure intent, with the intent that that's the only thing that you're calling upon, some protector somewhere of pure intent, 9 times out of 10, long as you're worthy of it, something is going to answer. And whatever that something it has answered, it's going to be an actual protector. Because, like I said, they listen. I don't even know how to explain how they listen, but in the spirit realm, and even broader into just generally the universe, it listens, it hears everything. And if you've got something, or someone asking for help, it automatically hears it. Like I said, just are you worthy of it is the question. So those are our two most common things. Either a spirit will protect you, or some kind of relic or something will, or stone or something will protect you. And that is leaving up the majority, if not all, of the protection magic. It's leaving it up to said, protection relic or protection spirit. And that you don't have to put any of your own magic in it, really. The rest of this stuff, even just a simple shielding spell, any kind of spell that you set in stone, that means that you don't, say it was a protection stone and you wore it around your neck and you took it off, well, the protection's gone. Well, with the protection ritual or spell, and I use those terms interchangeably, it's there all the time, always. Whether or not you have something, it's there, it's set in stone forever. As long as you're deserving of it, it's set in stone forever. And so that protection never fades, no matter where you go, where you are, what you're doing. And that shielding magic, that warding magic, is a lot more complex, because now you're starting to have to rely on a bit of your own magic, or at least know how to be guided to do the ritual the exact way that you need to do. You try to look something up on the internet, you even try to look something up in an actual book you're not going to, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to find what you need, because most of these rituals, you're going to need to be guided by some kind of either ancestral spirit guardian, totem, something.